Hello folks, hope you're all still in good health out there. Up and out early this morning, must be just after 5 AM. I'm just getting a little pop-up hide from bushwear.com that I've been using for years, set up at the bottom of the field in among these weeds and that. I'm hoping to decoy some magpies in close enough this morning to take with the HW97. Yes, we're on spring power this morning. It's been a good while since I had the HW97 out, and it's not the easiest gun to cock and load inside a small compact hide, but we're going to have a go anyway this morning. The field I'm setting up in is empty of livestock at the minute, though for quite a number of weeks it had a mixture of sheep, lambs and cattle in it, namely cows with calves, which were being fed meal in a couple of troughs up at the gate. And over those weeks, the magpies were helping themselves to the meal. Now, the troughs were too close to the road for me to do any shooting at. Plus, I don't like decoying in a field with cattle in it. You're just asking for trouble, as they'll be constantly sticking their nose in your business. Plus, cows with young calves can be very temperamental, especially if they don't recognise you. So I've been waiting till the livestock were taken out of the field so I could have a go at the magpies, as there was quite a few young ones about that were still quite inexperienced, so I was hoping for a decent bag, but we'll see how we get on, sure. As you can see in the distance, probably well over 200 yards away, there are a few houses around this field. So I set the hide up in a bit of a hollow, so the ground rises in front of me. So any shot I take, hit or miss, the pellet should hit the ground. Yes, I know my HW97 is only running 12 to 13 foot-pounds of energy, and yes, it is on my FAC, but I don't want any pellets flying over the horizon into dear knows what. I'm setting my bait and decoy out at 25 yards. The decoy is basically a magpie I shot the day beforehand at a different farm, set up in a little wire cradle to make it look as if it's standing on its own two legs, and the bait is a little fake nest I made out of raffia grass off a Amazon, with a few fake eggs in it and a little baby chick. Yes, it's a toy chick. As the rabbit I had in my old fridge for bait was a little past its sell-by date. Yeah, it stunk to high heaven. So that's why I went for plan B and the little nest with the fake eggs in it. Right, we've finally got everything set up and we're in the hide. Let's do a quick gear check. The rifle is a Weihrauch HW97 M177 caliber. I'm shooting RWS Superfields pellets at about 12 to 13 foot-pounds of energy. And as I said before, it is on my FAC, as any air rifle over 1 joule of energy in Northern Ireland is considered a firearm and has to be on your FAC. I've also fitted a V-Match tuning kit to it and a CS500 Sporter walnut stock from Custom Stocks UK. I've probably been waiting over an hour by this stage, and no sign of any magpies, when this hooded crow landed, and caught me a little bit unawares, let's say. Party hardy was tardy. Name that where it came from if you can. Even though it wasn't the target species I was after, magpies, a hooded crow was too good an opportunity to pass up, as the farmer had already asked me to take any out I got an opportunity at. Unfortunately, the camouflage netting was partially covering the scope lens, but it was still clear enough for me to take the shot. And at just over 25 yards, the little 177 done the job. I'm using the Tactacam 5.0 and FTS unit to get the scope cam footage. It seems to be able to handle the recoil okay, though I did have one of the little glass lenses in the FTS unit come loose at one point, though I managed to glue that back into place with a few small drops of clear silicone, and it hasn't given me bother since. I gave it a wee while, thinking that now I have a bird on the ground, it might kick the rest of them into a bit of a frenzy and give me more opportunities. But for some reason it didn't really happen, and things stayed quite quiet. So I decided to go out and set the bird, the crow I had just shot, up as a decoy, hoping that that might work for me. But again, I must have waited at least another hour before this magpie appeared and landed on top of the stick I pushed into the ground as my range marker. That's number 2 down. Man, this thing's awkward to cock and load in this wee hide. I can't remember exactly how long it took before the third bird arrived, but I was glad to see it when it did. I really thought the way that bird was reacting, and the others in the hedgerow behind me, that finally this was them going to kick off and it was going to give me a good opportunity or two. But no, after I shot that bird they all went deadly silent. So I gave it a wee while and then went out and set the 2 birds up as decoys, hoping that I might get another opportunity out of it, but I didn't feel hopeful. I must have waited well over another hour, and was about ready to pull the plug when, finally, another magpie arrived. Feeling quite chuffed with myself after that shot, I cocked and reloaded the rifle, as you never know, there might be time for another one. Only to suddenly realise after a few minutes that the magpie I just shot was struggling back onto its feet again. So I got the rifle back down and, yep, finished the job. Thankfully, it didn't get back up after that one. I gave it another half an hour or so after that one, but nothing else appeared, so I called it quits. Okay, let's see how we're done. We have usual dead magpie set up in a cradle. Usually, that's usually a hooded crow, I suppose, yeah, but I was targeting magpies this morning. This field in here has been had sheep, mixture of sheep and cows with calves as last while, and they've been feeding them with a feeder up next to the gate, and the magpies have been helping themselves to it for quite a while. But I wanted to wait till the cattle and the calves were out of the field before I tried to decoy them. Everybody thinks a bull is what you need to watch out for, but honestly, you get between an overprotective cow and her calf, you're in for a world of hurt. So once they were out of the field, I decided to come this morning about 5 o'clock, set up and have a go at them. And even though I've got, what, 3 here and a hooded crow, I'm a wee bit disappointed because there's more magpies about than this. I should have had more, but they seem to be more interested. I think the farmer put a feeder up over in a field beside the house over there last night, and they may be more interested in it than my offerings this morning. But anyway, we've got that one there, which I shot at the end. I was just about to give up. I've been sitting 5 hours. That one appeared, and I shot it. A couple of minutes later, it done a Lazarus. Got up and started walking, but thankfully I was able to put a second shot in it, and it didn't get up and walk from that one. Bait really is a little fake nest made out of raffia grass, a wee toy chick and a few Delft eggs, so I don't break them in my bag and stink the place out. And I have that there's actually a use it as a range marker, but this time the magpies sat on it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I got that one there from it, chest shot. And then, where is it? That one there. Very poor camera work. Sorry about that. And I set the 2 up as decoys, which I think helped me get that last one. But it was a long wait. It must have been 2 hours before the first one arrived. And then another hour after that, I would say, till the next one arrived. The hooded crow was a bonus. It looks like a young bird. I had to take them with a headshot because they're quite stout, and I have just the wee 177 spring powered HW97 with me this morning. But I was surprised actually for that to land, and to be the first one to land. It's usually the magpies are the first one down, but it looks like a young crow. And I set it up as a decoy with the little wire spike. But for my efforts, I've still got 4 birds and a wee bit of footage for YouTube. So hope you enjoyed it, and cheerio hey. With my morning shooting done, I tidied the place up after myself. As I'm sure the farmer will be quite happy to hear what I shot, he'll not be so happy to see dead things lying around his silage field. Well, disappointed or not that I didn't get as many birds as I hoped I would, at least I didn't blink, and the HW97 seemed to handle the task quite well, and hopefully we'll have it out another day, whether it crows or rabbits. But until then, take care folks, and look after yourselves, hey.